He doesn't know. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुं श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरम्। So, continuing our discussion, this is chapter 3 and 4 of Nectar of Devotion. This chapter we saw yesterday. What is the requirement to begin devotional service? It is attraction to Krishna, and that attraction to Krishna comes by the association of Mahant. In fact, we saw how by serving the Vaishnavas, we develop attraction for hearing and chanting. And then we saw how to begin devotional service. Detachment is not required. Attachment to Krishna is also not required. Just little bit attraction and one can begin. And then we saw how um, mm, to render pure devotional service, um, one should have no other desire. And then we saw how Rupa Goswami describes Bhakti and Mukti. He compared them to the witches who always haunt the conditioned souls. Um, and conditioned soul feels helpless in front of these desires. Um, but once, till the time they are purified, pure devotional service cannot begin. Um, and there was a contrast we saw how the conditioned soul desires various things and how the pure devotees they desire, and we saw the desire of Bharat Maharaj, the desire of Maharaj Prithu, and Devahuti, and we were seeing some examples from Bhagavatam how they desire, and how the Lord himself says that my devotees don't desire anything um, um, in um, in comparison to serving me. So that's the essence. Okay. Hmm. So we will see some more prayers as quoted by Rupa Goswami in Nectar of Devotion. O my Lord, source of all opportunities, I do not desire to enjoy in Dhruva Loka, the heavenly planet or the planet where Lord Brahma resides, nor do I want to be the supreme ruler of all the earthly planets or the lower planetary system. I do not desire to be master of the powers of mystic yoga, nor do I want liberation. All I wish for, my Lord, is your association and transcendental service eternally. So here we see Vratrasura and Indra, they are fighting. And Indra is like very eager for heavenly kingdom, um, and he saw Vratrasura as a threat. Um, he saw Vratrasura as a threat. Um, that's why he wanted to. Um, he prayed to the Lord to to help him kill Vratrasura. But Vratrasura here is like, I don't want. I don't wish anything, even Brahma's planet, or I don't wish anything. In all I wish is your association and your transcendental service eternally. Mm. Because everything else may bring some happiness temporarily, but will bring misery also eventually. But only the Lord can fully satisfy the living entity. So this is Lord Shiva to Parvati, Lord Shiva's conclusion. My dear Sati, persons who are devoted to Narayan are not afraid of anything. If they are elevated to higher planetary system, if they are elevated to the higher planetary systems, or if they get liberation from material contamination, or if they are pushed down to the hellish conditions of life, or in fact in any situation whatever, they are not afraid of anything simply because they have taken shelter of the lotus feet of Narayan. For them, any position in the material world is as good as another. So here Lord Shiva says that mm, the pure devotees of the Lord, they don't have the consideration of um, what is better for me and what is not better for me. What is a better circumstances, what is not. A better place, what is not. They have no consideration. They have no consideration. They have no preference of either liberation or heavenly planets or hellish planets. They neither like a particular situation, they nor hate a particular situation. They just want, my Lord, wherever you keep me engaged in your loving service. So that shows that they have no desire other than be engaged in the service of the Lord in any circumstances. Because if desire is there, desire will bring duality. Duality will bring, I like certain thing, I don't like certain thing. I like a situation, I don't like a situation. That's the duality. Simply because they have taken shelter of lotus feet of Narayan. For them, because they have taken shelter of the Lord wherever they are, they just want to take shelter there, whether lower planets or higher planets. Any position in material world is as good as an. This is when um, Chitraketu Maharaj was cursed to become a demon, and he was not affected by that, but rather he was, wherever you place me, keep me engaged in your loving service. This is Nagapatni's prayer to Lord Krishna. And dear Lord, the dust of your lotus feet is very wonderful. Any person who is fortunate enough to achieve this dust does not care for heavenly planets, lordship over all the planetary systems, the mystic perfections of yoga, or even liberation from material existence. In other words, anyone who adores the dust of your lotus feet does not care a fig for all other perfectional stages. So they are also, see, it's actually Vatrasura, whatever he prayed, same prayer by Nagapatnis is one who has taken um, any person who achieved this dust of your lotus feet. He does not care for heaven, hell, yoga systems, or basically any desire. He does not care about any other kind of perfection because he has just taken shelter of your lotus feet and he is satisfied. That's why, and they are considered as um, like shanta or like perfectly peaceful because yeah, they get the shelter and they find complete shelter in that lotus feet of the Lord wherever they are, and they are fully satisfied with that. And that's why external doesn't matter because everywhere they have the shelter of the Lord, and that's all that gives them solace. Um, this is Indra conclusion. My dear mother, persons who have given up all kinds of desires and are simply engaged in devotional service to the Lord know what is actually their self interest. Um, such persons are actually serving their self interest and are considered first class experts in the matter of achieving the perfectional stage of life. Um, so, Indra is telling that those who engage in devotional service of the Lord, um, they are actually serving their self interest. Self interest means those who know what is good for them. Um, we should not be one's enemy, but we should be one's own well wisher. One's enemy is um, when we engage in selfish, um, the pursuit of selfish enjoyment, and there it is called one's enemy. And there it's called one's enemy because that will become the cause of our suffering. And this is the power of illusory energy. Illusion means that which is not. So what is not is the promise is not true. The illusion promises us something, comfort, pleasure, enjoyment, whatever. But the result is opposite, and that's why that is illusory energy. And those who are working in that direction, the result they get is opposite. But those who are serving the Lord, they actually know their self interest because they are going to become really happy, satisfied. Um, um, yeah. And the Lord also confirms that this is um, um, Lord Vishnu telling to Durvasa Muni when Durvasa Muni went to Brahma and then went to Shiva and then Lord and then went to Vishnu, telling, "Please save me from this Sudarshan." Then the Lord said, glorifying Maharaj Ambarish, the Lord was glorified. So Lord said, My pure devotees are always satisfied being engaged in devotional service, and therefore they do not aspire even after the five liberated stages, which are to be one with me, to achieve residence on my planet, basically Sayujya, Salokya, to have my opulent Shrishti, to possess bodily features similar to mine, Sarupya, and to gain personal association with me, um, um, Samipya. Samipya means staying close by the Lord, to gain personal association with the Lord. So, what they are not interested, even in these liberated positions, they can know how little they care for material opulences or material liberation. So, they are not interested even in these liberated positions. You can know how little they care for material opulence or material liberation. So, Lord is telling that the devotees are not even interested in five kind of liberation. What to speak about um, perfection of gyan and karma and yoga? Not even five kind of liberation compared to serving me. They're always satisfied being engaged in my devotional service. We saw na Kolavecha Sridhar last time. What do you want? Please keep coming and take my banana leaf. Um, take them away. I don't want anything in return. So devotees are satisfied just by serving the Lord. So this is how so how Rupa Goswami present is how different devotees don't want anything other than service to the Lord, and how the Lord Himself says that my devotee don't want anything other than my service, and devotees are telling we don't want anything other than opportunity to serve your lotus feet. So there is a um, um, confirmation both ways. This is devotee's desire. My dear mother, this is Lord Kapila telling. My dear mother, devotees whose hearts are always filled in the service of my lotus feet and who are prepared to do anything for my satisfaction, especially those fortunate devotees who assembled together to understand my qualities, pastimes, and form, and thus glorify me congregationally and derive transcendental pleasure therefrom, never desire to become one with me. And what to speak of becoming one with me, if they are offered a post like mine in my abode, or opulence like mine, or even personal association with me with similar bodily features, they refuse to accept because they are satisfied simply by being engaged in my devotional service. So, same thing, Lord Kapila is telling those who are attached to hearing about me, glorifying me, associating with my devotees, serving me, they are so satisfied doing those things that they are not, that they don't even desire the five kinds of liberation. Same what Lord Vishnu said. Um, My dear mother, my pure devotees are charmed by seeing my different forms, the beauty of my face, the structure of my body, so enchanting, my laughing, my pastimes, and my glance appear to them so beautiful that their minds are always absorbed in thoughts of me, and their lives are dedicated fully to me. Although such people do not desire any kind of liberation or any kind of material happiness, still I give them a place among my associates in the supreme abode. So Lord is telling what they are attracted to. They are attracted to my glance, my form, my enchanting smile, um, my structure, my laughing, my pastimes, my face. Um, this is what attracts their heart so much that they don't want anything else. Although they don't want anything else, but I bring them to my abode. But they don't want anything else. Again, devotees' desire. Um, those who are already promoted to Vaikuntha planets and who possess the four kinds of liberation may also sometimes develop affection for Krishna and become promoted to Krishna Loka. Out of many kinds of devotees of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the one who is attracted to the original form of the Lord, Krishna in Vrindavan, is considered to be the foremost first class devotee. Such a devotee is never attracted by the opulences of Vaikuntha or even the Dwarka, the royal city where Krishna ruled. The conclusion of Srila Rupa Goswami is that devotees who are attracted by the pastimes of Lord in Gokula or Vrindavan are the topmost devotees. So Prabhupada ends there by saying that sometimes devotees in Vaikuntha and Dwarka also aspire for the sweetness of Krishna and sweetness of Vrindavan. But like we see the Lakshmi is praying for participate in Krishna's pastimes. But the cowherd boys and the other associates of Lord Krishna in Vrindavan, they never aspire for any other perfection. And that shows that Rupa Goswami concludes by saying how um, the form of the Lord in Vrindavan and Krishna, that is the topmost. We see that that pastime is coming to my mind when um, Mm, Krishna left the gopis um, from the rasa dance, and the gopis were running, and searching for Krishna. And Krishna was somewhere ahead, hiding in a bush, and the gopis were running emphatically, crying and searching for Krishna. Then um, um, they came closer to Krishna. Krishna doesn't know where to go, so Krishna immediately exhibited his four-hand Narayan form in order to hide himself that so they saw Narayan, they paid obeisances to Narayan, they got up and they asked Narayan, you are the supreme lord, please tell us where Krishna has went. So Narayan with one of the hands showed like this way, and they started running in that direction. So that shows that although Lord took the form of Narayan, the gopis were not attracted to that form, rather they were attracted only to Krishna. um, but here we see the Lord's own consort Lakshmi is aspiring to experience sweetness of Krishna. That shows the topmost position of Krishna and Vrindavan. I think this is the last slide. A devotee who is attached to a particular form of the Lord does not wish to redirect his devotion to other forms. For example, Hanuman, the devotee of Lord Ramchandra, knew that there is no difference between Lord Ramchandra and Lord Narayan, and yet he still wanted to render service only to Lord Ramachandra. That is due to the specific attraction of a particular devotee. There are many forms of the Lord, but Krishna is still the original form. Though all of the devotees of the different forms of the Lord are in the same category, still it is said that those who are devotees of Lord Krishna are the topmost in the list of devotees. So, in one way, Hanuman is attracted only to Lord Ram. At the same time, we also hear that Hanuman participated in Mahaprabhu's pastimes as Murari Gupta. Hanuman also participated in Krishna's pastimes in the form of a dhwaja in on the chariot. So in some way he did participate. Um, 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 but generally speaking, um, there is a particular liking towards a particular form of the Lord, and they're satisfied with that. Yet objectively speaking, the devotees of Krishna and Krishna are the topmost. Okay, so that was the end of fourth chapter. Um, Now we will begin with the fifth chapter. The fifth chapter is the purity of devotional service. The fourth chapter basically dealt with the um, third chapter dealt with sadhana bhakti. Fourth chapter dealt with um, what is the qualification to render pure devotional service versus what is the qualification to render devotional service. And various examples of how Srimad Bhagavatam is filled with the examples of those who render pure devotional service. How pure devotional service is the only thing that is propagated in Bhagavatam, and how the Lord confirms everywhere the quality of my pure devotees, and that how that is aspired for, and that is something we really want to be. Okay, now the fifth chapter. Okay, there are three main topics that fifth chapter Rupa Goswami speaks about. One is the purity of devotional service. the mystery of Vaishnavism, and the supremacy of Bhakti, purity of devotional service. Bhakti is not dependent on birth. Not dependent on birth means one may be very low born, and this is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, um, um, where Lord says whether one is a Shudra or etc. etc. A low born, if one is engaged in my devotional service, one will attain perfection. Therefore, having taken birth, one should engage in loving devotional service to me. So, the devotional service is so pure, independent of our past life. We can attain perfection in this life. That is why it's considered. It's not dependent on birth. One can be in any caste by nature, any category, creed, whatever. Um, um, there is nothing that devotional service cannot purify and drag one to perfection, and that's why it is so pure. it's it surpasses, and our how I see low birth has, we may be born with many desires. um, um, Brahmanas are somebody who are only interested in Brahman. That's what they call Brahmanas. Or for us, only interested in Krishna consciousness, mode of goodness. But one may be in lower modes, influenced by many desires and hankering and lamentation, or like very attached, whatever that decides, that comes from our past life, independent of what our situation is. Pure devotional service can revolutionize our heart. Then it is said it has no material cause. Material cause means devotional bhakti is not dependent upon your current situation. Um, you may be very good, you may like no material cause, neither a good work nor a bad work or etc. No material cause. We may be the sinner of the sinnest, the biggest sinner, breaking the regulative principle left and right for billions of lifetimes, and bhakti can make us pure devotee. Or we may be like very pious people, helping everybody and very much mode of goodness, but we may not become purified or attain perfection. So material cause doesn't matter. I mean, few examples that come to my mind is, one is Mrigari, a hunter, and he would kill animals. Um, um, Uh, Also, Valmiki, his name was Ratnakar earlier. He was also a hunter, used to kill animal. But then, the power of devotional service, they both became pure devotees. So, if you see material point of view, it's like impossible. And so many great kings, so many pious people are just not interested in bhakti. So it is not dependent upon one's birth. There is no material cost to it. Then there is Nityananda Vamsa. So some people say that this is a misconception. Nityananda Vamsa means I was born in family of Nityananda, or some people say I'm in the family lineage of Das Goswami and others. So we have the right, or we are like the Acharya. The being an Acharya, being the right, or being in a superior position is not dependent upon one's birth. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur fought and emerged successful. So there were many people, they would claim that um, about casteism, like Narottam Das Thakur was not from a Brahmana family. Haridas Thakur was not from Brahmana family. Shyamananda Pandit, um, I think, yeah. Shyamananda Pandit was also not from Brahmana family, if I remember correctly. Although he was given the name Pandit by Jiva Goswami. Um, Anyways, and there was a lot of opposition when Haridas Thakur was given that patra by Advaita Acharya during the first person who honors the prasad during the Shraddh ceremony. Ratan Das Thakur was initiating Brahmanas, and the Brahman class were very much offended that how can somebody who is a Kayas can initiate Brahmanas. So, but Saraswati Thakur defeated, and they were like, we are the one like that. Prabhupada calls skin disease, the skin in which I am born, diseased by that. So Saraswati Thakur fought and showed how Vaishnavas are superior, independent of one's. So no material circumstances. Bhakti does not depend. Bhakti will pick you from wherever you are and will give you perfection. You don't have to worry about whatever past is. And that's why Krishna says, now having taken birth in whatever situation, having taken birth, engage in my loving devotional service, and everything will become perfect by that. All people can also become Brahmanas. And Srila Prabhupada said, all people can also become Brahmana. Prabhupada said, na, Krishna conscious movement is meant to create Brahmanas. And we see those who are practicing for a few years, we see how previously we may be way more influenced by passion and ignorance, and how um, um, the Brahmanical qualities may gradually appear in some of you. So it's like no matter who you are, if you just keep practicing devotional service um, sincerely, um, this bhakti will itself bring you to mode of goodness. Naturally, we see how from ignorance to passion, and there are verses in Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam says when we serve devotees, we develop attachment to Vasudev Katha. And once we develop attached to hearing about the Lord, then the qualities of Rajas and Tamas are destroyed and one becomes established. And that's Anartha Nivritti. Now. Anartha Nivritti means we have come to mode of goodness. Because before Anartha Nivritti, passion and ignorance means irreligious activities and hankering lamentation. These are hankering lamentation desire. These are mode of passion. So Anartha Nivritti means one is stable, and that's itself a sign of Brahmana. So um, if else purity of devotional service is checked, if there is something that bhakti cannot um, um, cut through or transcend us, then how can devotional service be pure? That's why purity of devotional service means you don't have to worry about anything. This bhakti will, like how our acharyas explain, will drag us to success independent. So it's actually very, very hope giving. Um, but at the same time, devotees have the natural humility and they consider themselves as low. Many times, devotees consider their material circumstances and they take that as an opportunity to take a humble position. Like one example which is coming to my mind is Rupa and Sanatana Goswami. When they went to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they said, we are very, very fallen compared to Jagai and Madhai because Jagai and Madhai are born in Brahmana class in Navadvip. So they are like great personalities, but we are like Malechas. Although they are born in Brahmana family, just because they work for a Muslim king, they consider themselves as one of the Malechas, and they're just taking that as an opportunity to take a humble position. Then we see Kunti Devi also. She's like pure devotee of Lord, and her prayers are most glorified. And she is telling, we are merely women. How can we understand you, my Lord Krishna? So they take an opportunity and they take a humble position. Like we are just this and we are just this, and what about those? Those are great personality and we are nothing. But at the same time, we see how Rup and Sanatan Goswami and how Queen Kunti, they are like the top most devotees. Um, um, so uh, nothing matters in devotional service. When such verses are more like um, devotees love to take a humble position. Um, they find some joy and they actually it is just pleasing to the Lord when one thinks low of oneself. Um, not all the time, but it's just one has that feeling that I am not qualified and I'm grateful for what I have, and I'm a patita and I'm fallen, and therefore I'm begging for your mercy. Because unless we consider ourselves low, We cannot beg for mercy, or we cannot feel a dire need for mercy. We feel the dire need for mercy when we think that we are helpless, um, and we have no other hope. And we look and we are kind of disgusted with ourselves, yet we have a keen desire for perfection. And so we are only banging on the mercy of the Lord. Um, it's natural for one to think in that way. So this is sage Vasishtha to King Dilipa. There is a This example is there of King Vishwamitra Muni became a Brahma Rishi. Vishwamitra, there was Vasishtha and Vishwamitra. You all may know that Vasishtha and Vishwamitra, there was some contingency among them, and Vishwamitra Muni was unable to defeat Vasishtha because Vishwamitra Muni was the king. So he wanted the cow of King Vasishtha Muni. But Vasishtha Muni, king with all the praja, when they attacked Vasishtha Muni by his Brahman Tej defeated everybody. And King Vishwamitra, he was thinking, I'm the king with all these powers and all these soldiers and all the influence, and one Brahmana can defeat all of us together. Better to become like him because he is more powerful because he's Brahmanas. So Vishwamitra understood that I cannot defeat Vasishtha with my strength and my powers and my influence and etc. Um, only by the process of yoga and by that um, 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 like you get mystical powers, and um, you get that shakti of brahmana, a pure brahmana, very powerful. So only through that austerity and powers attained through that, only that can help me defeat. So Vishwamitra, he performed thousands of years. Sometimes he was distracted by various elements, became angry. Menaka was born. Menka came and Shakuntala was born. So he was distracted few times and he repented and he continued. He also became a Brahma Rishi. So that shows he was remembering Narayan basically. So that shows one may be Kshatriya but became a Brahmana. So that shows that birth is not an obstacle. Whoever we are, path of, but because it was not pure devotion. In this age, mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, very few years of the holy name and dedication to service can emerge us and take us beyond all the disqualifications because the devotional service is so pure. So here Vasishtha Muni tells to one king, my dear king, everyone has the right to execute devotional service, just as he has right to take early bath in the month of March. January, December, actually, not many people want to take bath in January, December in a holy river early in the morning because Austria is very cold. But everyone has a right. Likewise, everyone has a right to practice devotional service. Nobody is stopping anybody. Um, um, yeah, whoever performs attains perfection. Um, there are many glories of the holy name. One holy name can remove the sins that one cannot commit in one's lifetime. Just watering Tulasi can remove the sin of killing a Brahmana. So there are many glories like that. This is from Skanda Puran, Kashi Khanda. In the country known as Mayur Dhwaja, the lower class people who are considered less than Shudras are also initiated in the Vaishnava cult of devotional service. And when they are properly dressed with tilak on their bodies and beads in their hands and on their necks, they appear to be coming from Vaikuntha. In fact, they look so very beautiful that immediately they surpass the ordinary Brahmanas. So this is a quotation from Skanda Puran where the Shudras, they were initiated and they started practicing devotional service and they would wear Vaishnav clothing and they became so pure and so effulgent and so blissful that in front of them, um, the ordinary brahmanas are very, very like, um, you know, uh, cannot be compared to the Brahman effulgence, and the tej of these Vaishnavas. So that shows wherever we are, this is reference. If we are initiated and practicing devotional service, one can surpass um, anybody, because bhakti is the process is all pure. Now we don't need to be pure. The process is pure. And when whoever we are, comes in contact with the process will work on us and we become pure. We don't need any qualification. We just need to accept the process. Vashishta Muni says anybody can accept it. Everybody has the right. But whoever accepts it will become pure. This is Sanatana Goswami Hari Bhakti Vilas. Any person who is properly initiated into a Vaishnava culture certainly becomes a Brahmana. As much as a metal known as Kamsa, bell metal, is turned into gold by the mixture of mercury. So if you take bell metal and you put some mercury, it turns into gold. Likewise, if you take any conditioned soul, any birth, or even by swabhav, is one is in tamogun or sinful like a hunter or whoever one is, you add this mercury of initiation, guru's mercy and the process of sadhana, and it will turn into gold. Why? The power of bhakti. A bona fide spiritual master under the guidance of authorities can turn anyone to a Vaishnava cult, so that naturally he may come to the topmost position of a Brahmana. Doesn't matter. This is Hari Bhakti Vilas by Sanatana Goswami. So we see from Skanda Puran, we saw from Lord Kapila. Devahuti Maya also says, na, we discussed this earlier, even a dog eater can perform Brahminical rites and worship the deities, if one takes the name of the Lord, because the name can purify all previous, but whatever nature we are born in, whatever mode we are born in. And we also see that our like whether we are Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra is based on the mode. Born in goodness, Brahmana. Born and acting in goodness, passion, Kshatriya. Acting in passion and ignorance, Vaishya. Acting in ignorance, Shudra. Independent of the birth. But whatever we are acting in, you add initiation and sadhana bhakti and turn into Brahmana, turn into gold. So the process is all pure. Manusmriti, a Brahmana who instead of studying the Vedas engages himself in other pursuits, being keen for we want honor, we want money, worldly advantages, becomes a Shudra together with his whole family in this very life. So here Manusmriti, Manu is like a great sage, um, Manu. He wrote Manusmriti and he says, even if one is in mode of goodness or one is Brahmana, instead of studying the Shastra and practicing devotional service, if he starts running after money, running after worldly comforts and advantages, become keen on being honored, then he becomes a Shudra. Not only he himself, he with his entire family becomes the Shudra in this very life. So again, Manu is saying it's not dependent upon your birth. From Brahmana, you can become a Shudra in this very life if you are attached to various things. And from Shudra, you can become a Brahmana in this very life, if you take the process of devotional service. So it's immaterial of our birth, but process is all pure. So that is the first section of chapter 5, the purity of devotional service. And we saw various references showing how um, uh, no disqualification. Just anybody can accept, and anybody who accept will become Brahmanas, will become pure, and become greater than anybody else. And Saraswati Thakur, based on all these various verses that Rupa Goswami quotes and many others, defeated when there was a discussion between Brahmana and Vaishnava, who is greater. A Vaishnava may or may not be a Brahmana. but Vaishnava is greater than whoever because yeah. Um, so what is the mystery of Vaishnavism? Um, the summary is described in this image. Krishna consciousness so strong that such an occasional fall down is at once rectified. So the mystery of Vaishnavism is um, we will uncover it. Let us go with the flow. Um, Sri Rupa Goswami also says that if one is regularly okay, so let me give let me speak few words on the mystery of Vaishnavism. Uh, uh, Basically, it connects to mystery of Vaishnavism is connected to that bhakti is all pure and fall downs need not be considered or taken or need not be taken seriously. Uh, mm, One verse which is from Bhagavad Gita is Api chesu duracharo bhajante mam ananya bhag sadhu eva samantavya samyak vyavasito hishaha, which means one may be engaged in a very abominable act occasionally, suduracharo, but if that person, even after because of the influence of the modes, occasionally, not purposefully, Srila Prabhupada says because Maya is very strong, occasionally if one engage in the most abominable activity, but if he is engaged in devotional service continuously, Ananya, um, and he laments and he engages in devotional service, sadhu eva samantave, he is considered a sadhu. Means a fall down in bhakti is not a fall down if it is occasional. There is no atonement or prashrita required. Um, no reaction may also come. Maybe some small reaction, maybe some subtle, just where Krishna teaches us a lesson, some realization how this is not good for me, some lamentation. Those are okay, but no reaction will come. Your bhakti is not lost still. Other paths fall down, that benefit of the path is lost. Like the example given is Vishwamitra Muni, he practiced this tapa for 1000 years and um, Indra sent Menaka and Menaka came and chan 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 and Vishwamitra Muni naturally he was a Kshatriya, na, passion, so he was attracted. When he opened his eyes, a very beautiful heavenly girl, um, and he united with her and Shakuntala was born. But because of that, basically illicit relationship, bolo ya, that his effect of his tap was lost, and then he has to restart. So that shows that the it was occasional fall down, but then he lost the opportunity. Indra actually becomes a little bit insecure when he sees somebody performing severe austerity, and Kshatriyas are very tolerant, so they can do austerities. Like Dhruv Maharaj was a Kshatriya, um, and they have that power and bodily courage and strength. But he could perform severe austerities actually. Yeah. Brahmanas also are very austere though. Um, mm. So Vishwamitra lost. Then again he practiced his tapa for 2000 years more. And then Indra again sent a heavenly girl and Vishwamitra became angry. And when he became angry, again he lost everything. But we don't see that if, like, even occasional mistake has a heavy price. And it seems like, um, again begin from the scratch. But we see that devotional service is not like that. Even if there is a fall down, there is no fall down. And that is a mystery of Vaishnavism, means it is foolproof. Foolproof means whatever shocks are there in your journey, um, bhakti can absorb those shocks um, and will ensure steady progress. So this is the mystery of Vaishnavism. And that's why this quote is there that Bhakti is so strong, Krishna consciousness is so strong, that such an occasional fall down is at once rectified, Prabhupada says. At once rectified means moment you take, I mean, if we keep doing wrong things, knowing that bhakti will anyways rectify at once, then um, it becomes an offense to the holy name, to commit sin on the strength of the holy name. But if it is occasional, then Krishna does not take it seriously, and at once one is rectified. And we see like Bharat Maharaj, he fell down from his position, became attached to the deer. Very greatly accomplished soul. We saw his example previously. He was so attracted to Lord that he could give up his kingdom and family and royal opulence, that even Indra was envious of Bharat Maharaj opulence. And but he left everything um, for devotional service. But then when he fall down, it was not a fall down, because he continued in a dear body from where he left off, and then continued body of Jadabhara from where he left off. So there is no such thing as fall down, but it is rectified. Shirupa Goswami also says that if one is regularly discharging devotional service, there will be no question of a fall down. कोई सवाल ही पैदा नहीं होता कि गिर गए, अगर रेगुलर भक्ति चल रहा है तो. But even if circumstantially there is some fall down, a Vaishnava need have nothing to do with the Prayaschitta, the ritualistic ceremony for purification. If someone falls down from the principles of devotional service, he need not take to the Prayaschitta performances for reformation. He simply has to execute the rules and regulations for discharging devotional service, and that is sufficient for his reinstatement. This is the mystery of Vaishnav cult. Devotional cult. Cult is a negative word nowadays, but how Prabhupada uses the word cult is culture. Somebody who take this culture of bhakti. Um, but now, sometimes people read Prabhupada books and Prabhupada uses the word Vaishnav cult. So they say, hey, the author itself, the founder is telling it's a cult, don't read it's a cult. Now cult means like, um, you know, um, something you don't want to associate with, some like underground thing or um, like that. Um, but cult means a culture. Prabhupada says is a culture of or tradition of Vaishnavism. That's what Prabhupada meant. So it's a mystery of Vaishnavism. You will be reinstated if you just continue devotional service. You don't have to do anything extra. Krishna to Uddhava, having awakened faith in the narrations of my glories, being disgusted with all material activities, knowing that all sense gratification leads to misery, but still being unable to renounce all sense enjoyment. My devotee remains happy and worships me with great faith and conviction. Even though he sometimes engages sense enjoyment, my devotee knows that all sense gratification leads to a miserable result, and he sincerely repents such activities. When an intelligent person engages constantly in worshipping me through loving devotional service, as described by me, his heart becomes firmly situated in me. Thus, all material desires within the heart are destroyed. So, basically, Lord Krishna is saying the devotee is attached to me, he is attached to hearing about me, he is attached to chanting my name, he is attached to serving me with love. But sometimes he may fall down. He knows uh, sense gratification, attachment in this world leads to misery. He knows those who are engaged in those activities are not happy. I cannot be happy in that. And he knows I am the perfect goal. And here, nothing impure, everything pure. No misery in Krishna consciousness. He knows. He knows the result of this. He knows the result of Krishna consciousness. He may still engage in those activities. um, he knows it will lead to misery, still he may engage in those activities. But then once he engage in those activities, forbidden activities, then he sincerely repent. How can I do that? What did I do? He sincerely repent such activities. And by doing that, gradually, um, one by that process of devotion, he repents and he reinstate himself in bhakti. Of course, no pressure required, and then he become more and more stronger with time, and gradually his heart become firmly fixed in me, and thus all material desires within the heart are destroyed. Hmm. Just yeah, just devotional service process is so pure. It may take some time, but the process is so pure that it's gonna remove all the unwanted things. This is the mystery of Vaishnavism. Means you are safe. It's like, like sometimes I think of it like a government job. Anantari Prabhuji is in government job, very high position government job. But government job means safe. Whatever you do, nobody can remove you. So likewise in bhakti, foolproof, safe. Even if we are in a boat of mercy, even if some fall down is there, just continue. Just continue. You are safe. Even a blunder fall down. Externally, it may seem a horrific reaction, like becoming a deer, attached to the deer, lost everything. It may seem like a gross fall down. Still safe, because the soul is going to continue and continue, and very soon will go back to Godhead. So that's how it is safe. Okay. Then the last section of this is supremacy of bhakti. How bhakti is supreme. Okay. Does anybody has any discussions up to this point?
Guruji, the fall down, um, is it like in the beginning we may be falling down too much?
Mm.
uh,
Yes.
but but the idea is that you have to keep moving ahead even if you fall down, right? Slowly it will
Yes.
get better.
Yes. You got it.
So sometimes we even, because of mode of our nature, we may not even know that we are falling down. That may seem very right, means normal behavior. uh, so that that can be only get rid by knowledge, right? What is right and what is wrong.
So in very beginning, the discrimination understanding is not there. I agree. But then when we start reading and practicing and associating, then we get a fair understanding of right and wrong. Still, we may do the wrong thing, but there is no, but we are at once rectified if that is occasional, because power of bhakti is so strong and Krishna is so kind. And it's like, like the child is walking and the child falls down. Parent doesn't take it very seriously. The child cries, "Hey, I messed it up. I fell down. I'm hurt." But the parent says, "Beta, get up, get up, get up. Walk, walk, walk." And then he again smiles and walk, and again he falls. And then it goes on. In the beginning, he falls. After 20 seconds, he falls. Then gradually he falls after maybe some walking. And then he can just keep walking. And the parent doesn't mind anything because the parent knows बेचारा सीख रहा है. And the parent know अभी चलना सीख जाएगा ये. एक दो महीने की बात है. Then he will walk perfectly. So likewise Krishna knows that we are trying to come out of this material world, and Krishna knows his energy is so powerful, um, and we are trying, but Krishna knows that very soon we start walking. Why? Because anybody in the past, since time immemorial, since ever anybody in the past who started to walk soon became perfect and went back to Krishna, and we also will do that. So Krishna is seeing such cases who cannot walk and they just started to walk and they are लड़खड़ा रहे हैं, and then they are running and they are back. Next, 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 next. So Krishna doesn't take that very seriously.
Yeah, but we should take that seriously, right? Means-
Um, the child takes it seriously. He cries, bro. He is hurt. So we take seriously, and that's why Krishna says he repents sincerely, seriously repents. So अगर हमने seriously लेना नहीं शुरू किया तो गड़बड़ है कुछ. और Krishna doesn't take it seriously. एक है ना loving father है ना, loving father and loving mother श्रीमती राधा रानी. But that's okay. You know, देखो प्रभु अगर कोई आपके पास आए और बहुत गिल्टी फील कर रहा है कि प्रभु जी गलती हो गई, बहुत बुरा लग रहा है, क्या करूं, यू विल नेचुरली गिव दैट पर्सन एनकरेजमेंट. Obviously any merciful person will give encouragement. If somebody already is lamenting, you will give them encouragement. So you go to Krishna and you cannot show your face to Krishna like, Krishna, I can't even see you now or what who I am. And then Krishna is like, come to me. So this is like, there's a mystery of Vaishnavism. Yeah.
yes. Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Okay, I think one small section is remaining. Unless any discussion, it's already 9. We probably can finish the supremacy of bhakti and the 6th chapter also on Tuesday. Okay, if no discussion, then I am grateful to all of you for joining. My obeisances to all of you. Vanchakalpatarubhesha kripa sindhubhe evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavyo namo. Thank you for tolerating me. Dandavat pranam. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare
Thank you.
Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you, Satnamata. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Dandavat.
Krishna Prabhuji, thank you.
Thank you. Pujamata. Hare Krishna. Dandavat.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Thank you, Dimple Mataji. Hare Krishna.